ওই তরকারি Good evening, everyone. Please, anyone, let me know like if I'm clearly audible in the chat. Hello. Anyone in the chat, please let me know like if I'm clearly audible.
Yes, you are clearly audible.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let's wait for a few more minutes because we have just three participants. As 10 more, sir won't be joining us. So let's wait for a few more minutes. Okay, let's start this session. Uh, so sir won't be joining us today. So I'll be taking the last session, which is and Firebase chat application. Yesterday, I use has shown us the uh, uh, e-commerce application. So that continuation will be done by I use tomorrow. It will be much easier if to follow if we follow the same code base. So the e-commerce application will be continued tomorrow. So for today's session, we'll be following this last topic, that is Firebase chat application. It will be a small session, and we even have MCQ and everything. So that will all be covered in the tomorrow's session. So let's start with today's project. I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know if it's visible. Is my screen visible? Good evening, Tanmay sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm still outside, so but I got just in time to join. So we can start the session. Thank you, all of you. I think Mr. Zak, you will be taking the session today.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Okay, so kindly please carry on. I may not be logged in for a long time, but it's up to you to start the session, and you may also close the session today. Since I'm outside, I won't be able to log in again. So
Okay, that won't be a problem, sir.
to I hope to do the things tomorrow. So I welcome all the participants again to this particular session, and Mr. Razak will be taking the session today. So thank you again for joining us, Mr. Razak. You can now take over the session, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I'll be creating a new application, the chat application. So I'll name it as Firebase chat application, and the organization will be for today's session I'm using Android Studio, as I don't have Visual Studio installed in my office system. So I'll be continuing with this IDE. So first, let's just clear the boiler code that has been created by default. Okay, let me first make a login screen. So in our previous Firebase session, we have covered that we need tree dependency to work with Firebase database. So we need Firebase core, authentication, and Cloud Firestore. So let's just add those dependencies first. I'll go to pub.dev. We need Firebase auth2. Okay, so the dependencies has been downloaded. So before we proceed, um, I'll be using my own Firebase account to create my project. So I'll be naming it as Firebase chat. So the project has been created. So let's connect our project with the Firebase. So I'll be using CLI. In our last session, we have shown to connect with the Fire as we don't have any app created for this project, neither for the Flutter or for the iOS. So those initialization will be done through CLI. So just throw some commands in the terminal. We can include all the files and make the connection. So before that, let me initialize the Firebase here. So this line will make sure that the Flutter framework is fully initialized before any code that depends on the Firebase feature is executed. And after this, we have to write this. We have to make it this thing. The auto suggestion is not appearing. Let me type again default. Let's first connect with the uh, Firebase first. So we'll use this command flutter fire configure. It will show us the available projects that has been created in my account. So just now I've created chat application. So I'm gonna select that chat application, and it will ask us which platform studio configuration support. So I'll just choose Android, and this we have to give the package name that during my creation of this project that I have given. So like if I go to the Android folder and check here, this will be the package name. I'm just gonna copy this one. So this will create for every platform, for Android, for iOS. This will automatically be created. So if I go to my console, before it wasn't showing any app. So if I reload this console, in my code, it's showing that every project ID has been created for the iOS and for the Android. So it should reflect here. Let me just reload again. Okay, the project name is Firebase Chat Application. I have selected chat application. Maybe I have selected the wrong project. Let me check once again. And there's one more application, Firebase Chat Application. The second one I should have selected. So if I do the same process again. Okay, it's showing now for the Android iOS. So as you can see, for each platform, it has been created. And it has its own project ID and project number. So if I 5C, if I go to Firebase JSON, it should match with the Android one, 9C, 5C. So let's just rerun the code and check if it's initialized correctly or not. Okay, we're using for this Firebase dependency. As I used to have mentioned just in last session, that depending on the packages, we have to adjust like the minimum OS version or everything. For I guess by default it's using 21, so we have to set it as 23, so that the current version of the Firebase packages will work. So yesterday's session has changed in the iOS platform. So in today's session, we have to change in the Android build Gradle. So here, if it's mentioned as minimum SDK version, we can simply write it as 23 and run it again. Okay, it won't show anything because we haven't created any UI for now. So if I go to logcat, Okay, let's just create a login screen first. So I close all this one. As the login screen is a stateful widget, let me create one two text field, username and password, through which the user will sign up in the database. So let's just have one parent root, so that we can have two text field vertically. So children will have text field. This widget has already been covered in previous session, so I won't be explaining. So one will be for email and one will be for password. So let me this will have an on change method. Value. Let me create two string variables, email and password. So two text field has been created. Let me make it center first. After this text field will have a button. Let me create a button. This will have a on press function. Let's log in. Okay, this is fine. I'll okay. Let's just add some padding to its column. So I'll wrap this column with padding. I'll give how much will I give? This is let's make it 16. Yeah, this is fine. So we'll be doing sign in with email and password. Line in the last class we have covered that. So if we go to the authentication and type as get started, this email and password will select. I'll enable this and click on save. So we won't be doing any registration. So let's just add some demo user. So let's name it as user. And in press of elevated button, we'll do the sign in with email and password method that comes with the Firebase authentication package. So we'll be using that. So I write, let me create an instance for the Firebase auth. So I'll use final auth. Let's make it private. We already have a predefined function from the library. So we'll be using this sign it with email and password. And for email, we are passing the email string. And for the password, we are passing password. Let's make this as async. And we'll just print the error if there any error occurs during the sign-in process. Let's run it once. Sorry for the background noise. Actually, I came home, so there's some background noise in my. Sorry for that. So I've created one user as demo@gmail.com. Let me try signing with that. Gmail.com. Okay, so after the sign in is completed, let's just navigate to a new screen. So I'm just gonna create a new page first. So let me collapse this one and create a new screen. I'll name it as chat screen, chat list screen. So I'm not using any router packets because we just have two screens. So I'll be using the default navigator classes that Flutter provides. So I'm just gonna use those for now. So once the sign is successful, it will navigate to the next screen. It says the supplied auth credential is incorrect. So it is demo@gmail.com. Password is OWS. Let me just create one more user. Test and gmail.com. Okay, 83456. Okay, it's working now. Maybe I've given some password which I didn't remember. I forgot either I keep it as uppercase or lowercase. I'm just gonna delete this user for now. I'll keep it as as, uh, as user at gmail.com 23456. I'm gonna test user. Yeah, it's working fine. So let's just proceed with the chat list screen. Directly gonna pass the authentication here, so it will be easy for us to navigate. Okay, now let's just create the chat list screen first. The title will be as users. So for this demo, I'll be creating 10 users from my end itself. I won't be registering with 10 users. So I'll just on my list, I also generated 10 users from 0 to 9 or anything, and we'll try to apply the chat with each of the users. So let me just create a list view first. Yeah, one moment. This is closing here. Yes, okay, it's creating. Let me use the index for this one. So it will show us with the, yeah, this is fine. Let me create one more screen and name it as send screen. One moment. Let me just this one. I'm missing one bracket. We check giving us return list style. This is closing where this is closing fine. This style I'm closing here. This is closing here. List the generate. And this way I'm closing here. Okay, I'm missing a bracket. So let me figure it out. Just give me 1 minute. This is closing fine. This is closing fine. Okay, this is fine now. Sorry for this. Actually, in Android Studio, it's kind of difficult to figure out like where is it's not closing correctly and where it's closing. So let's just move with the next screen. That will be our chat screen. But before that, as we are using Firebase database, so let's just create one collection here. So if we go to Firestore database, let's just first create a UI first. Then it will be easy to explain like what will be shown in the UI. For now, I'll just be creating a chat screen where user can send a message to any of this user, and it will be shown in the database. So I'll name it as chat with the user ID that will be passed from this screen to the next screen. So I'll just write it as chat with. Let me create two variables first. And this will be the user ID that I'll press on this list screen, and this username will be passed to the chat screen. So I'll name it as user ID, and one more variable will be In the list user ID parameter, will be passing the index user ID that user will click on this list view, and this will be passed to this parameter. So in the stat screen, I'll mention here, I'll use the this list user ID parameter in the app bar. So it will be show if I click on this user 0, in the next screen it will show us chat with user 0 or chat with user 1. Let's have one row here. So we can have a text field, and on beside the text field we can have a button as the UI that we used to have in all chat application. So inside column, let's have one more row, and inside the row we'll create one text field. Let's make a controller for this user input. Any input that user will type in the chat field, we'll use a controller for that. So let's make one controller as name as message controller. We'll have a border to this text field. Create one button as well. Okay, in this column it's padding, child column, it's fine. Okay, okay, it's working now. Let's give some padding to this one. So I'll type with padding widget. Okay, fine. So this will be shown. For now, I'm showing it in the top, but this will be shown at the bottom, and we'll try to display the messages that will be typed from this user input. So before that, let's make a collection first. We'll try to create a collection. Name it as chat messages. Just simply messages. This will set to be as auto increment. We'll try to have three fields. One is the sender, one will be the receiver, and one the message. And we can add a timestamp as well. Okay, this is fine. So on press of this button, it should create a new message conversation with the user 0. So let's just create one function here. I'll name it as send message. We'll pass the user input to that function. So this I'll need to get to us message, but for this we need to have an instance of the Firebase store so that we can have access to all its functionalities. So just like the authentication, we have created an instance as auth. For the Firebase database, we need an instance store. So I'll name it as Firebase store. This is the package that we are using. This will be the main class, and so this instance, we can add all the functionalities of the database. Either we can add it to the collection or can retrieve it. So let me use this in the function. Uh, let's add some validation, like if message is not empty, this will be executed. The collection name we have here is messages, so we have to the collection name here within quotation. So this will be as messages dot add. So we have mentioned four fields: sender, receiver, timestamp, and the message. So we'll send this as for the sender, as for the message. We'll send the message parameter. We'll pass the message parameter. For timestamp, we can use the Firebase server timestamp. This will be automatically be generated from the Firebase site. So we can simply use server timestamp. This will generate the timestamp of the Firebase. We have sender. We have receiver. So for receiver, I have widget list user ID. For sender, we have user ID. Okay, it's been added. The message was hello, receiver user 0, sender demo user. This is what we have mentioned while passing to the chat list. And timestamp, this is automatically generated. So let's try to retrieve all this in a UI first. So in the body, let's have one more children. I'll be using a stream builder so that it will keep listening to all the changes, and based on that it will create a list view for us. Not a list view, but it will show us the messages that has been added for this user ID. Let's add some queries for this. We'll try to retrieve those messages which will be like which user ID will be matching with the collection, like user 0, whichever conversation user 0 will match with the sender ID, those messages will be retrieved. So if I mention here sender, AFA parameter is equal to, you can use this as we are passing widget dot user ID, so you can use this widget dot user ID. You can use one more where based on this query, we'll try to create a list view. So in a builder, we have context and snapshot. We don't need to mention this. If I write if the snapshot doesn't return any data, we'll simply show a text field like it doesn't have any messages. So if snapshot doesn't have any data, or if I simply show a message like no messages, and if it has data, let's say we'll create a list view for us. item count will be the messages length that we'll receive. Let's see. Let me create a container. We name it as message. Just below the message, we'll try to add one more text that will show us the sender, like from which sender the message has been sent. So we'll use as sender, and we can style this as, let's say, font size will be 12, and for messages as well. Okay, this will come down. So okay, the message was hello demo user. Okay, so it's showing for user 0, but for user 1 it will be no messages. Okay, this is fine. um, Let me align this to the left. So this is list view container. Let's have some decoration for this container. so it will be easy for us to understand. It will create a configuration for the messages. Yeah. So I'll try to create a box decoration. We'll have some border radius from outside. Colors is decoration color. Okay, yes, I can give gas. Okay, fine. Let's add some padding too. This is fine. So after we send the message, we can clear the controller here. Okay, everything has been added. Testing chat. This is a demo one. This is fine. This is just for user 0, receiver user 0. So if I do it for user 1, okay, it's been created for user 1 as well. This is fine. Okay, so out here I'm actually not creating a two-sided conversation UI for this one. So what basically I've done is like I've kept the authentication process simple. I've already created a user so that it can be logged in with the created user. The registration part we have already done in our previous classes, the sign up and sign in process. And next what I have done is I've created a collection here, name it as messages. And we have four fields: message, receiver, sender, and a timestamp. So in our list view, this previous list view, this has been generated from my end itself. This it's not showing any of the users in our database as we are not doing any sign up process. So if we go to the chat list screen, we are generating 10 items in our list, and we are naming it according to our index uh, in the list view. And on click of that each item, we are navigating it to the chat screen. We are passing two parameters to the chat screen. One is user ID, one is list user ID. So in our chat screen, first unclick of this button after typing a message. Basically, it's adding a attribute to the collection, like it's adding one data to the collection. For the message, we are passing the message that the user has inputted, timestamp, sender, and receiver. Receiver will be the user ID that has been passed. Say this index, user index will be the receiver. And the user ID that we are passing, it's a simple demo user we have kept. So this is like static user ID we are passing. So in our collection also, the sender is same for every conversation. It's a demo user. And after it's being added, we are creating a list view. This stream builder we are using, so it will return us the data after it will keep listening, and this query snapshot holds the document data that we have added. So once it has all the data, uh, we have used two where queries. One, it will match if the sender and the receiver is equal. So if like sender is equal to like user 0, or the receiver no, the receiver if it's equal to user 0, and the sender as it's same for every conversation. So this is not needed, but this is actually what it's querying all the messages for us, filtering the messages for us. And once it returns us all the data, we are creating a list view based on that receiving messages. So on the text, we are just passing the message because the index field name was message in a JSON map. And below that, we are just showing us the sender name. We can simply show us the timestamp and everything and all. For just for demo purpose, we are in just these two text field. And this is what we have created for this application. So the main actually, we can add more queries to this. Like we can, like we have only used where query. We can even use order by according to the timestamp. Based on that, it will sort as the listing. And one more thing this error might arise sometimes. Like say if we use multiple queries, out here we have used two queries, but if you say if I'm using order by query or anything, so it might throw us an issue that we need to create some indexes. So let's just see, let's try using order by, and we'll see if it throws any error. So if I use the timestamp attribute, let me check the naming. Okay, it's timestamp. If I regress, okay. Okay, it's throwing us this error. Let me enlarge this one. It says listen for query. It says we need to create indexes. So what basically indexes we need it for? Because let's say we have a huge data set, and for Firebase to filter all the data for the given queries by the given queries, we need to provide some indexes. So the query will return us the data, like in the operation will be first for us. So it will even provide us the link to create the indexes. But let's just say if we don't create this and don't go by this link, we have a section here as indexes tab. So we can create an indexes with the same collection ID and fill. Let's just say, let's try first with the link. Does it create for us or we have to create it manually? Okay, if we go by the link, it will create for us automatically. We don't need to anything. We just have to click on save. But if we go it manually, then we have to give our collection ID name, which is messages here. And under fields, we have to add the same field name that we have added for the messages table, like sender, receiver, and everything. And based on that, we can give like this field should be in ascending, this field should be on descending, and everything. So if I go by the link and create and save, this will take some time. Sometimes it takes even 5 minutes, or sometimes it takes 1 minute to build. And this will be the status will be changed once it's done creating the indexes. So once it's done, then this won't throw any errors. So in simple terms, just for querying a big set of data, Firebase usually needs these indexes. So that it can perform like complex queries, and it will the return us the data at a shorter span of time. It won't take much time, and it doesn't have to like scan the entire collection. But if we provide the indexes, it doesn't need anything. It will just go for the for this queries. So that's the major use of indexes here. So let's just check if it's been created or not. It's still building. Let's just wait for this to be done. Okay, it's showing enabled for us now. So it's done. So if we go here in the indexes portion also, it's showing for us. So let's just close this tab and rerun the application. Okay, it's not showing any errors as I have kept it as descending true. So the latest message it's coming on the top. I make it as false. Okay, in a timestamp, we have already given it as descending in the field. So I guess this has to be true. We cannot change the original value. For that, we have to create a new index based on that, I guess. Because it's already descending. Is there any way to edit this one now? Yeah, this is the entire process. Actually, we are not trying to create from like a real chat application point of view. We are not creating like each message collection for each, like we are not creating a room for each conversation, or we are just creating a simple messages between created users that we have created from our end. So if you have to create from double-sided as in WhatsApp, then we have to have multiple tables. Like if each message will have its own parent collection, and for each parent collection, there will be multiple conversation room. So that's how the table structure will be done. So for just for demo purpose, this is the basic structure of creating real-time messaging. So if anyone have question, please ask. Actually, we're using the same database and authentication that we have seen in our previous classes. So nothing different in that. So the main process is just to know the creation of this collection and authentication, and even connecting the Firebase with the project. That is the main task. So if anyone has question, please can ask me. And we already we have an MCQ portion also tomorrow that in the next session. So just for information basis, we'll create from and like all this. We'll create some MCQ questions, beginners some basic questions, and based on that, we'll try to give it in the next session that will tomorrow mainly. So this will cover the entire course that we have covered. So please, anyone, if anyone has any question, and even we have uploaded in our repository. Please do check the repository as well. We haven't uploaded yesterday's session yet because it's not been completed yet, but till WizApp, it's already been added. In the main branch, we have session 2 and session 3. This will be the Git URL. And we have multiple branches for Firebase. I guess this we have covered in the third session. Firebase and offline and QuizApp. Each project has its own branch. Just for the session 2 and session 3, we have added both the project in the main branch. And rest everything is on the different branch. So please, for revision, try to access this one. Today's session as well will be added after this call. But the main thing is I'm using my own Firebase account. So for this project to work, you have to create your own project and own collection and everything. The connection has to be done from your end. And if you give a different naming for each collection, then those has to be changed in the uh, code as well. If anyone doesn't have any question, we can end this session. As I have already mentioned that this will be a short session. Please reply in the chat like if there is any query, or we can end the session here for now. Anyone, please? Okay, I guess we don't have any queries, so let's just end this session. Uh, Thank you, participants, for joining. Thank you so much. And let's end this meeting. And please confirm once in the chat, like am I audible or not? Because I'm not getting any feedback. So it's like maybe I may not be audible or anything. Please confirm.
Yes, audible.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's then end the session for today, and we'll try to enhance this one. Yeah. Krishano. So. You are not audible, Krishanu, sir. You can type in the chat if it's. Okay. Let's end this session here. And Krishanu, sir, if we can add the question in the chat, I can reply it later as well. It will be visible to me. It will remain in the chat as well. So you no need to worry. I can reply as well later. So let's end this session. Thank you everyone, and good night. And let's meet tomorrow for the last session. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.